Okay, welcome to another episode of Acoustic Chef. This is D. Will.
This is your girl, Ebony.
This is Capel.
And my name is Flynisha. Y'all might have caught me on that debate up on the top of Pence's head. I was gathering some goodies for my family, because we love to hang around shit. What it is now, y'all. I'm Regina. How y'all doing?
It's a Flynisha, Gina.
Flynisha.
What's the lifespan? Hold on, let me look up. What's the lifespan of a fly? Because that fly was up there for a minute, and if his lifespan, okay, so a housefly's lifespan is only 28 days. So he had a whole life. Like he went through puberty. You know what I'm saying? He could have got married. He'd be paying bills. He voting and everything, man. He's on the dude's head for about 2-3 minutes.
He's famous now. He don't even know it. Got Instagram pages, Facebook, everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a meme that said he was checked into Walter Reed because he might have COVID now.
Oh, he got it from the fly, or did he get it from the other fly, from his president?
I don't know. Looks like he got it from the pink eye from the debate.
Oh my God, he looked like Cyborg or Psycho.
Zombie.
That was terrible.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
pretty bad.
that was outrageous.
Yeah, that whole scene, that whole scenario, that was hilarious. I
Did
loved
y'all-
every minute of it.
Hey, did you watch the debate, Cooper? You watched the whole thing?
I dipped in and out. I saw the majority of it. I didn't watch the whole thing though, because I was watching it on my phone, and because I don't have cable these days, I stopped paying cable, and I didn't have the CNN app on my Fire Stick.
Yeah.
But I caught the gist of it.
Did y'all hear when the dude started speaking hypotheticals, talking about what if? I think he said what was it? The swine flu. He said if the swine flu had been worse, then 2 million people would have died. What?
H1N1. He had to start. He had to, because what do you say when somebody comes?
And after that, I looked at the stats of the swine flu. I didn't know anybody with the swine flu. I don't know nobody that knows somebody. No. But the stats said people had it and people died. But look at the time period. When we talk about COVID, we're talking about since we knew about COVID until now, how many people have died. So you can say people died from the flu. Yeah, people died from the flu, but I know how to work with the flu. I don't know. If you don't know about this thing and you don't know what the symptoms are from one day to the next, and you got millions of people that die within a few months, like, stop comparing this to other stuff.
Yeah. But all it is, it's a strategy. It's a smoke screen. And what it does is it takes the base that they have and strengthens that base. What he did was take a hypothetical situation and use what actually happened to like take this situation now and then say this is what would have happened if the Obama administration, because he likened the plan they plan now to the plan that Obama had. So basically he was trying to say, well, these plans were the same. So if the swine flu was just as dangerous as COVID, his plan wouldn't have worked and all these people would have died. That's not how that shit worked. Hey, brother, that's not how it works.
It works for his base.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous.
They know all they have to do is say Obama's name. They're obsessed with him. I'm like, he is not the president. Why are we still talking about him? Why are we still talking about Clinton? I just don't understand it.
I mean, because
I understand it actually.
Yeah,
they need something to pander to. They need. I mean, they just throwing up Hail Marys right now. Anything.
They drowning. Exactly. They drowning. And they reaching for whatever they can to survive in this shit.
That's crazy.
A whole argument on Facebook yesterday. Not an argument, a discussion with a friend I've known since like 3rd grade. And then one of his friends jumped in and said some off the wall. And I was like, please get your friend. I think her name was Tuesday, Wednesday. I was like, please get whatever day of the week this girl is. Get your friend, like school her for real. Because he was saying, I don't agree with everything the party I support. I don't agree with everything that they do. Like there are some things that I agree with. On the Democratic side, I don't agree with everything for any party, but this is the one that I roll with. And I said, I can agree to the same, because there are some things that I don't care for either, that the party I generally support actually believes in. Some of the stuff that they do, I don't agree with, but I can agree to disagree. And I was on the debate team from middle school all the way up through high school, and I can write an argument for either side and do it well. So I just, I mean, he was talking about packing the courts, and I said whoever the president is, that's what they're going to do. It doesn't matter if it's a Democrat or a Republican. If Trump stays president, that's what he does. That's what he's going to do. So I don't know why you're mad that Kamala didn't say, yes, that's what we're going to do. It doesn't matter if she says yes or no. That's just what they do. That's what the president does. Yeah. So why are you harping on that one point? The only question that Pence actually answered directly was the one about abortion. And that's because that's what his base kind of rallies around. That's their talking point. That's the main thing that they care about. And I just like, in the grand scope of things, that's not the most important thing to me. It really isn't. So yeah,
I wanted Kamala to beat him to the punch because we knew that he was going to play to that base, especially on the issue of abortion. Mm-hmm. So when she got the question first, I was hoping that she would say something like, you know, I'm a stepmother. I have this bonus child or children, and I'm so happy they're here. But then say, hey, but I want the woman to be able to have their right to choose because everybody doesn't have the same health issues, and talk about rape and all those kinds of things. She did give an answer about a woman's right to choose, but that's the generic answer. So I think even though I felt like she was pretty strong across the board, I felt like she could have beat him to that one because we knew what he was going to say.
I don't understand. Like, say, like with your friend, how can you point out and scrutinize this one specific topic, but you can't scrutinize your homeboy? You know what I'm saying? The guy that you supporting. I mean, he didn't answer any questions. Like he tap danced the entire time, like just straight up or whatever. So like, I don't have a shoe in the race. I'm with whoever the best candidate is, and I see fault on both sides. I see both sides, not answering questions. I see both sides like placating and stuff like that or whatever. So how, like, I don't get it, man. Like, you can be wrong. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with being wrong or whatever. That's how we progress. It's by learning from our mistakes. But if you're going to keep excusing what these people are doing, man, that's the reason why we're in this terrible situation right now.
Well, first I want to say thank you to the American people because they are American and they are people. And that's what America's about. That bullshit right there, like, how can you not see through that? Like, every time he started to say something, he started with a statement like that. I'm like, oh my goodness. And I bet you they had people sitting around with their rebel flags talking about something. That's why he represents America the way he's supposed to. I mean, it's like it wasn't even worth listening to him speak because he's not, of course, didn't address any of the questions. He didn't say anything with substance. He talked in hypotheticals in most of his responses, and that's typically how debates go. What I liked about what Kamala did in many of her responses, it was about reality. You know what I'm saying? It's about like what's actually happening right now. And of course, she did her plugs for this is what Joe Biden is going to do if he's president. This is what he stands for. But that's politics. You expect that as well. But she didn't shy away from holding his feet to the fire. And I swear, I'm mad at the facilitator. Even though the facilitator is doing her job, she's not taking sides. But I wish she would be like, Joe Biden, what the hell are you talking about? You're like, answer my question. Like, I couldn't be the facilitator because I'd been kicked off. I'd have been like, but you didn't answer the question, so you need me to repeat it?
Right.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson, he needs to facilitate the next debate.
For real.
He would definitely be like...
Yeah. We had a family debate. One of my cousins posted, I do not support the Democratic Party. And that's fine, whatever. But within her post, she said, because they're lawless and godless. So I said, well, I think both parties are lawless and godless. And she says, well, I said, one pretends better. And she's like, no. At least Mike Pence is a godly man. And so when I tell you, I just leave it alone. But when I tell you they went in, and it was so many Republicans actually got on her post and said, I'm a Republican, I'm a proud Republican, and I'm not voting for Trump because this is not what I stand for. So it's just really crazy. But she's like, no, you all, God has told me, I have gotten in my closet and talked to God, and this is, the Republican Party is for what the Bible is for. And I'm just like, okay.
Is this the same cousin from last time?
No, this is another cousin. This is on another side.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
my god!
This
You know
is
the reason why I said it is
yeah.
because I know when y'all was talking about it the last time. I said, when this person who's talking like that, I can't talk to that person because God has spoken to them. Who the hell am I? Like, if a person believes that God has spoken to them, just leave that person alone. Let them do what they gonna do because they are not about to change their mind.
No, I did. I let them have it. I let everyone else attack her. I just watch from afar, but it's just really crazy, you know.
Yeah.
So
Man, speaking of crazy, did y'all see where these 13 men were arrested for a kidnapping murder plot against Michigan Governor what is her name? You know her name,
Gretchen.
Anthony?
Gretchen Whitmer.
Gretchen Whitmer.
Yeah,
Yep.
Gretchen Whitmer.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, that was really crazy. I saw one of the people that were arrested. I guess he was living with some man because his girlfriend kicked him out, and
Yeah.
the man was saying, "Yeah, I saw that he was buying, attachments for guns on Amazon and buying food. And I was in the military, so I knew what that was about.
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
course, now of course, you're snitching now because he was staying with you in the basement.
yeah.
Which the basement had like a secret door, which it didn't look like a basement to me. It
Yeah,
was in the
yeah.
ground, but it was a little weird. But anyway, it is definitely crazy that, and also with this, and I forgot the name of the group that they're with. It's a group I had
The
never heard of.
the
Do you know
Munith,
anything?
the Munith men.
Oh, okay,
I believe
maybe
is
I
what
don't.
they're calling themselves.
And they said that they've risen all over America, and they have all these plots going on and especially before election day, that they were wanting to incite a civil war. So what they planned to do was to kidnap the governor and kill her, actually. But they were going to hide up in the mountains or something and do something till the
Yeah.
police come. They were going to shoot them off. So I don't know if they were going to have it seem like a certain race or a certain party was doing this, but whatever they were doing, they were trying to cause a civil war.
And did they
So
say why?
hold on. Before we go there, Capel and Gina, I think y'all didn't really know much about this story or whatever. But if you just had to take a guess, could you guess what cultural uh spectrum these people are from?
I
I don't
mean,
want to
maybe
Like
they're
what
sound
side of
racist.
maybe they're
the
the Proud Boys. I
I don't
don't
want to sound
know.
racist, so just
No,
tell us.
I'm not trying to be racist or nothing like
Well,
that.
I
I'm
mean,
just
I
if
can
I
give you
had to
a,
guess, if I
I can
had
give
to
you a
guess,
clue.
yeah.
I can give you a clue. The clue is the media did not call them terrorists.
I
yeah.
mean, of course, if I had to guess, I'm going to say that they're white people because I know people play around and then they say stuff like stereotypical and whatever prejudice, whatever. But there's some truth behind white crimes and black crimes because statistics show it. And stuff like this, kidnappings, usually are by white people. Kidnapping plots. So yeah, I would guess that they were white men that did this.
I'm kind of looking here, and I like when I first heard about the story, just before we came on, I was looking, and it looks like a sheriff in Michigan is trying to like downplay it as like a citizen's arrest and not really a kidnapping. And
So
I'm like, they're mad at her, so they're trying to plot a arrest. Is that? I
I
mean,
just saw a
what?
article where they have pictures of him with those men
Yeah.
prior, like in another,
Mm-hmm.
at another time. So clearly he knows them. Whether he's
Mm-hmm.
in cahoots with them or not, who knows? But he knows them.
Yep. He was
So
Yeah.
with them at some kind of protest rally. At least two of them. At least two of the
Yeah.
men he's friends with. They're two of them are brothers, the Knoll brothers, and he was hanging out with them. And so he's like, "Oh, it wasn't a kidnapping plot. It was like a citizen's arrest. That's what we were planning, or that's what they were planning." And instead
Yeah.
of calling it what it
so
is.
so I don't have to call the police anymore. I can just go arrest people for whatever reason, like if that's what I want to do. So
not
we
just
can
people, the
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 governor.
governor,
governor.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So
did you see what the president had to say about it?
yeah,
What
he
his
was.
tweets were? Well, I mean,
Oh,
he's like, she doesn't even apologize, and I mean, thanking me, not apologize. She should be thanking me. And where, because basically her response is because of the the temperature and the climate of everything going on, and these people felt energized to be able to do something like this, and also because the rhetoric about how she's handling the state during this pandemic.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And he's like,
of course,
somebody has to do something and all of that type of
right?
rhetoric or whatever.
Yeah. So
So let's look at kidnapping plots. All right. You got people that kidnap people for ransom. They want millions of dollars. Of course, kidnapping is wrong, but I can understand why somebody want millions of dollars, right? You got people that kidnap their own children because domestic disputes, still wrong, but you can understand why they want their children, right? I ain't never heard of people wanting to kidnap somebody because they don't want to wear masks and their business is closed. And everybody had to close business across the country. Like,
yeah.
the thought of wanting to do something this serious for that reason, that just kind of blows my mind. Like, I can't
I
even
think
believe
they
that
want to
somebody would take that
change.
serious.
I think they want to change who's running the states. I think it was
They
more,
do.
it's deeper than that. I think they want to change. They don't like the way the country's going. Yeah.
That's
I don't
true
like
in
it neither.
part. I mean, yeah, none of us are happy with the state of the union right now. But also it's because she's a woman and like crimes against women aren't taken as seriously. I mean, we all know this and we've talked about this before with a certain Toy Story lanes. I
Oh,
mean,
good.
these crimes
Hold up,
against women,
What you're saying is true, so
they
I'm
just
not
keep
going to
happening.
dispute that. What
They
you're
just,
saying is true.
I mean,
Let's just leave it there because that what you said is a true statement in general. You're right. In this world, not just this country, we don't take crimes against women. See, when I say we, I'm not including myself. I'm talking about just the structures of governments don't take crimes against women serious, and that's something that's important to point out. So yeah.
I mean, it's all systemic. If you're not from a certain group of people, and most of them being rich white men, because everybody else falls underneath rich white men in this country, then you pretty much SOL. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to different situations, and you're not respected, and I mean you're not treated like a civilian or a citizen of this country. This news, this should be just like they trying to spread this Antifa foolishness and stuff like that or whatever. We hear a lot about Antifa. We don't hear much about the QA9 people. We've never heard much about the Klan. You know what I'm saying? We've never heard anything about Aryan Nation and all of that type of stuff. All of these
Right.
white terroristic groups or whatever, especially including these Munith men and the Proud Boys and stuff like that or whatever. You don't hear much information. They were trying to kidnap the governor of
Yes.
a
The
state
entire
in the
state.
United States, man. This should be plastered everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
This
Should see
should have
flyers.
overtaken the whole media. Yeah. It's
Can
baffling.
what can we? Because I'm cool with being in the southern states because it's like is I guess, or I could be on the west coast too. So of course between California all the way across to Florida, I'm cool with being in one of them states. Can we just like all the racist people? Can y'all just move up to the northern, like where it's cold at and stuff like that, and kick it up there, and then let everybody else that's cool, black, white, Mexican, Chinese, Japanese, whatever. Can we all just have our own states? Y'all can have all the top states.
Now they want their
I'm not
Confederate
tripping.
flags. They want all
Well,
that.
they
but
can take
look,
those flags with them.
I,
Take
I
your
will
flag with you.
I'll compromise. We could divide it instead of dividing it north and south. We
We
could
do
divide it
east
east and
west.
west. I ain't tripping.
Yeah, east west.
I'm
Some
not
people need the
tripping.
cool.
They can have Florida then and stuff. I'm cool with California or whatever. Y'all can have it's crazy as hell out there anyway. So like, man, it's just madness. Now back to what you were saying, Regina, about protecting black women.
I mean, any
But
woman,
she said
but yeah,
women, yeah.
especially black women.
Okay, well, protecting women, period, or whatever. Why? Why are we okay? The Tory Lane situation. If allegedly, accusationally, if he shot Megan Thee Stallion, why are we talking about protecting black women? Why are we looking at this from a global perspective? Because those two people may have had an issue.
So I think I can answer that. I
Okay.
mean, not being a woman is because of how it's not the situation in itself that people are making global. It's the responses to the situation, and it just kind of follows a script of how black women are portrayed in situations where they're victimized, where they're victims. People come out and they say, they don't give them a benefit of the doubt. Like, for instance, a woman being raped and she comes out and people say stuff like, what did she do? Like, stuff like that.
What
Well,
did she wear? Yeah.
Exactly. So it wasn't the fact that they had a situation. It was the fact that people came out and started making accusations about, like, why she didn't do this, why she didn't do this, it was all about her. And nobody was saying anything about Tory Lanez, and supposedly he was a suspect. He was the one that supposedly had shot her. So I can understand why that part of it is brought up.
But those are stupid people. Why we listening to stupid people
But,
anyway?
but it's the majority. It's the majority of the people. It's the people
Was
that.
it the majority?
Yeah.
I mean, see, he wasn't. Listen, he wasn't.
The majority of the posts you see, you never know it's the majority of the people because you don't know how many people are really talking about it. But the majority of posts you see. But that's the thing, it spreads and it gives people opinions and they see things and it matters. Like to people who are free thinkers, we talked about this in the past, people who are truly free thinkers, they see that stuff and it just rolls off of them. But you got a lot of people who are sheep. Like, they see stuff and it's the gospel.
So this is my question.
Yeah.
If he, okay, why is he arrested now then? He just got arrested. So why was he arrested? He wasn't
because they investigating.
He wasn't not arrested.
She didn't.
He wasn't not arrested.
He wasn't arrested at first because she didn't say he did it.
Exactly. So it had nothing to do with the global perspective of protecting or not protecting women or whatever. There was no information to arrest him.
But I don't think we're saying that.
I don't. That's.
I don't think that's the point.
No, that's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is that when the whole story broke, people were like, well, what did she do to make him, like, I don't care what she said or did, like, unless short of her shooting him first, there was no reason for him to pull out his gun and aim it anywhere in her direction. That was ridiculous. So whatever happened, why you got your gun out pointed at this woman? Okay. Then when the story broke and people were like, well, what happened? What did she say? Oh, she probably did this. Oh, we don't believe her. He didn't say anything. He just let whatever wanted to be said just be said. And she didn't at first either, because there is, like, it is open season out here on black men. So let me think. If this happened to me and I called the police on my boyfriend or whatever, what's going to happen to him? I don't want him to get shot by the police. I don't want him to die.
Why not?
But, like, because plus
they had feelings for each other. They probably got into a passionate argument. No, that's not how it works right there. Like, of course it sounds right to say, oh, you need to call the police or you need to tell on somebody. But if you're in a heated argument at that time, you said some things or whatever the case may be that shouldn't have been said or done, and then he takes that out. You know that when those police come, they're going to just pull their guns out and start shooting. And then everybody would have been like, he's dead because of her.
Yep. And that'd have been even more. It would have been even more like.
So you think she was rationally thinking at that time with two bullet holes in both of her feces?
Black women are always rationally thinking about our people.
Yeah, not about ourselves. Right. We're always trying to protect somebody. And maybe we do that to a fault. And we probably need to be like, you know what? You're going down today, sir.
Ebony and Regina may be thinking, but black women as a whole are not always thinking about, just like black men.
The majority, not all.
I would say that for Megan Thee Stallion, I would say that she probably was, because that's what happened, according to her. Like I say, I don't try to speculate what actually happens, and give my opinion on it. I give my opinion on, I don't give my opinion on speculation. I give my opinion on what I know about. She said that. I don't have no reason to think that she's lying about why she didn't tell the police. I think it's possible that a person could be in a heated situation like that and still rationalize, I don't want to make that decision. I don't want to call the cops on him. And there's also the level of it that she may have, even, and this is true, she may have felt a little guilt at the moment because of how everything went down. and was like, dang, he wouldn't have shot me if didn't do this. But even though when at the end of the day, she probably realizes now that I shouldn't have got shot. In that moment, she was probably like trying to make a snap decision. It's possible that she felt guilt, to being in that situation in the first place. Who knows? So I want to read this, and this is kind of like this statement kind of summarizes what I was talking about as far as why I can understand why it became a global thing, for black women to feel that way in general, that they're not protected. So this guy, Larry Johnson, he's a former football player, used to play for Kansas City Chiefs. He said, he's tweeted, he said, black woman goes on TV to make a conscious statement about a black man not arresting officers who shot an unarmed black woman. Same black woman who herself was shot twice or once at point blank by a black man she still protects and still hasn't pressed charges on. See, that's exactly why it becomes a global conversation, because he's talking about Megan Thee Stallion's comment. I mean, what she did, her protest, her statement on Saturday Night Live, and then he compares that to the fact that Tory Lanez, being a black man, reportedly, we assume shot her, and she hadn't said anything or really hadn't come out, like hadn't pressed charges or whatever. Those two things don't even go together. They're not the same situation at all. But black women, unlike white women, nobody would have said that about a white woman. Nobody would have came out and crucified her because of a statement she's trying to make, but compared it to her being a victim in another situation. Right. That's stuff that happens to black women. And it's stuff that also happens to black men. But when black women say that they're most unprotected, as a whole, is because there's a lot of black men that don't speak up for black women. This is one of those examples. This is a black man who has a platform, a voice, used to be a professional football player, and look what he's doing. So I can understand why it became a global conversation is what I'm saying. If it would have just stayed with a story of Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez, and people wouldn't have went there with it, then it just would have been a story. It wouldn't have been nothing else. Yeah. At least that's my opinion about it.
Yeah. And now we got a whole soundtrack album that was put out to support the thing,
that's fire though. I mean, I still get
see.
I'm just playing. I said it as a joke,
but you're not just
it
playing.
It could be though. It could. I mean, it might be. I still haven't listened to it, and it might be. But like, you go put out a whole album, and on every song mention how this is something that you did not do, which is
you haven't listened to it, Gina, so you can't even speak on it from that perspective.
I'm not speaking on it. I'm not speaking on whether it's fire or not. I don't even care.
No, I'm saying, but you're saying what he did, but you don't even know because you haven't.
I only heard. Okay, so I'm only speaking on what I've heard, what people have told me about it. Yeah. And if that's the case, like he wrong. I feel like he's wrong for that too, especially if he actually did this. Like, a whole album about how you didn't, but you really did. Which absolutely, that's not hard to believe, because R. Kelly been saying he didn't do what he did for I don't know how long, and we all know he did. We know he did. He did.
Yeah. And R. Kelly was jamming, and we didn't know he was talking about little kids, and we singing it the whole time. And we go back and listen to him, and now we know it's kids.
So my stance on, I still feel the same way about the Tory and Megan situation. I need to see the facts or whatever. Just because he's arrested does not mean that he actually did it. Just because she didn't call the police don't mean he didn't do it. I'm not saying that she was lying or nobody was lying or nothing like that or whatever. It's possibly a matter of perspective or who knows. But I think we try to globalize a lot of these situations or whatever. To me, the bigger situation to me is the fact that she went on Saturday Night Live and made a statement, and then for you to have backlash about that, you know what I'm saying? From like what's his name, Daniel Cameron and stuff like that. The mayor of
Attorney General.
I'm sorry, the Attorney General of Kentucky. To me, that's a more globalized issue that I think is a issue that deserves more conversation versus the Tory Lanez and Megan situation specifically, because that type of situation happens to women across the board. Women try to protect their men across the board or whatever. Domestic violence is an issue across the board with shit in every culture or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So Of
Yeah.
course, definitely, it should be a conversation or whatever. But I don't think, like, to me, it's kind of creating a narrative to say that Tory Lanez hates black women, even if he did do it. You know what I'm saying? And making it seem like
I don't
anytime
think
that
that that's the narrative.
why wouldn't
Oh,
you
go
think
ahead.
it's
I'm
that?
sorry.
Because we talked about that. We said, you know what I'm saying? Like even Gina
I
mentioned
don't.
that.
I don't look at it when I think about him. I don't think about he hates black women.
What Gina
But
Gina
I
mentioned
I do.
before you finish, Gina
Uh-huh.
mentioned, and I'm sure there's other women that feel the same way. Uh, Before on the other show, she was like, "Well, I didn't know really much about him, but now that he's out here shooting women, you know what I'm saying, shooting black women, I really don't want to check him out now, or whatever." So what if he didn't do this thing or whatever that we hoping that he didn't do? We hoping that it was some confusion or something like that. It's still going to have people that's going to be not rocking with him and hating him and stuff like that, just for the thought that he could be out here shooting black women, even though it was a
When
situation with one person.
when people find whether they find out he did do it, if they find out he did do it, it's still gonna be people hating Megan. They
Yeah.
gonna say, "Oh, she still did this. She, provoked him." And if he didn't do it, people gonna hate her for lying, or they gonna still make their narrative. The end of the day, I want to go back to the Saturday Night Live performance, which I didn't watch, but I saw the clips and I saw the Daniel Cameron clips and what he
Yeah.
had to say on Fox News. I honestly believe whether the Tory Lane's situation happened or not, she still, because of how hot she is right now, she still would have been doing a performance, and the awareness is still being brought to the Breonna Taylor judgment.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily believe that had anything to do with her. I think it was the timing. Whoever a PR team and everything, they made sure, well, let's jump on this too. This moment, let's kind of like, bring our situation into it, or let people think whatever they need to think. But I just feel like, now, me personally, I didn't know much about Tory Lanez. I may have known a little bit more because my husband listens to him, and I saw some things on Instagram during the pandemic shutdown. But I think he's a talented person. I never really listened to him. I can't say that he hates black women. But I do believe that when you can put your hands on a woman, or violate a woman, especially a black woman, you might hate yourself, or there may be some things, there may be some hate in there, or it may have just been a moment of passion. There's been some things that I've done in a moment of passion with people that I supposedly loved, so I can't say who he hates or doesn't hate, but the narrative here is that he put out an album. Now let's find out he didn't. He did do this. You put out a whole album. You became opportunistic on top of this domestic issue, to slander, or maybe it's not to slander, because some of his songs he said he loved her and whatever. I don't know what he's.
It wasn't
It's
slander.
not really slander, but it's still opportunistic. Like I'm gonna put a whole album together, put it out there. I understand that this, because I even went to found his dad on Instagram and went to his dad's page, and so I see that, okay, this is the way he communicates. He, through his art, through his music. I get it, but I still feel like it's just foul there. We're adults. This is a serious issue. Somebody could have died, even if, yes, her pinky toe, but something could have ricocheted and hit somebody else. I just think it's a bad situation for both parties. But at the end of the day, I have to rock with the woman because I am a black woman. I pray that she's not lying. I don't know the facts, but I do believe that she tried to protect him. And I understand, Damon, you said all women don't. No, all women do not. But I believe that the majority of black women, it's not really, I don't want to say it's this maternal thing, but it's like we kind of really feel like everybody is our sons in a way. Like, it reminds me of that, what's that Lauryn Hill and Nas song? If I could free all my sons. It's that feeling. We don't want the cops shooting y'all. We don't, even the ones that we hate. We don't fool with you, but we don't want you to die at the hands of the system, and I think that was where she was coming from.
Black women, black girls that are out there listening, if you don't have no crazy brother or no crazy cousins, and a man shoot you, I don't care if he shoot you in the foot, if he shoot your pinky, finger, whatever, call the police. Like, most definitely, don't try to protect him. He whatever happens after that, he deserves it.
But the police hasn't always protected us. But you are right. We should get help. But that's where we go into the systematic stuff. The police ain't always protecting us, and even when we call our uncles and brothers, they end up dying too. It's a whole thing with it, you know. So
Straight up. But again, we can't we can't we can't base life off of hypotheticals, because if you're gonna do that, then basically what you're saying as the female who's a victim of the situation to just do nothing, because you're gonna swamp your mind with the hypotheticals of what could happen. If I call my brother and my cousin them, they
you're
could
right.
come here, they could end up killing them, they could end up going to jail, they could end up dead, because ultimately the police are going to end up a part of the situation. You know what I'm saying? So just do the
Yeah,
right
I
thing.
think most. You're right.
Oh, go ahead.
Right thing would be to stop dealing with these I don't
But
want to
you
say
don't.
the word. Yeah. But my thing is, some things are hypothetical, but it's almost like just for you. What's some situations as a black man where you probably should call the police, where you wouldn't, based on your own experience with authority and that, so women know
Yeah.
that we've already complained about sexual assault, nothing's happened. We've already complained about this, we don't like the way somebody was following us, nothing was happening. You can't get a restraining order unless you got certain proof, and it really is not some systems like child support, all that, yeah, may be built for the women, but there's really no refuge. Like people would love to say, yeah, the Me
Yeah.
Too movement was great, still is great. But even in that, people say, well, why did you wait 50 years to say something? Well, I've been kind of saying something for a long time, but I had to keep it moving,
Yeah, straight up.
So I get where you're coming from. We should have those safe spaces to call the cops, but I don't think that's what we want to do.
I just
But
I just
I encourage women to be smart.
Yeah, definitely be smart, man. I think we should have I don't like the fact that we don't have common sense in a lot of these situations or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about on all across the board, from the people dealing with these issues to the systems that are in place are not based on common sense. And so it leaves
Yeah.
us, especially as black people, in a position to ride. We got to ride for every single thing that's out there when some things are not worthy of our attention. You know what I'm saying? Certain
Yeah.
situations we shouldn't even be getting involved in, but now we're emotionally invested in these situations just because it's a black issue, or just because it's a black man issue, or just because it's a black woman issue, when it's probably, you know what I'm saying? It's probably on a minute scale just between these people and not everybody. Everybody shouldn't get involved in it. That's the only thing I'm saying.
I mean,
Right.
I agree with that
I agree.
because the Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lane situation, to me, it's a domestic issue, and I don't look at it. I don't look at it as nothing more than that. You know, comments like what I just read, to me, that's more of a problem. That's the actual problem in general, because it's not about, the thing is it's not about Megan Thee Stallion, that part. Like
Yeah.
he's talking about her,
You
but
talking
the
to
real
black
issue,
women.
exactly, it's not about Megan Thee Stallion, but their situation. Like that's why I said, when we talked earlier, like his music, I'm gonna listen to it. I'm not canceling him. Like, they had a domestic situation. What he did was wrong, but I'm not looking at him and putting him in a box where he hates all black women. He's gonna do all black women like that. Meg Thee Stallion is a black woman, but I don't know her. I have no feelings for her. She's not a friend of mine, a cousin, or nothing. I'm glad she's alive. I hope that this trauma, she works through it, and that she can continue to do what she does and be a successful person. But it does not affect my life one iota of my life. But what does affect my life is the opinion of black women, in situations like, when they do come out and speak. Because I have a wife and she's black, and if my wife was victimized, I'd be damned if I'm gonna let somebody call her out for speaking her truth about what happened, or at least, being of it. So that part does bother me. So when I do see
Straight
stuff
up.
like what he wrote, that pisses me off, because it's not
Straight up.
necessary. It is not true. But them in general, I could care less about
What
that
if
specific situation.
What if your wife just so happened to go to a Kylie Jenner party and was hanging out with Tory Lanez and stuff like that, and then get shot in the foot
I'm gonna be
afterwards?
mad at her. First, I'm gonna make sure she okay. But then I'm gonna be like, Why you hanging out with Tory Lanez? No, I ain't know nothing about that. You hanging out with superstars?
She would have
What's the
told
deal?
it.
What's going on? My selfishness, and I'm being real. My selfishness is gonna kick in first. Like you hanging out with superstars, you hanging out with somebody I don't even know. Like what's
Yeah.
not? If we talking about, I knew she was at the party. If we talking about that, I knew about everything that was going on, and then I found out she shot. Me and Tory Lanez about to have a conversation. You know, it's gonna be some it's gonna be something that's happening. What Bernie Mac say? It's gonna be some furniture moving. It's gonna be a problem. You
Some
know, we're
smoke
gonna
in
have
the
a
city.
problem. Smoke in the city.
Yeah, that's funny. Did
Yep.
y'all? Oh, go ahead.
Go on, Damon.
I was gonna ask, did y'all watch the game last night? Did y'all watch game 5?
Oh yeah, you know I saw it.
No, I saw pieces of it. I heard my family screaming and whatever they were doing, but no.
Yeah. So, well, besides the fact of Trump hating on LeBron, we can get to that in a second. But hey, man, LeBron put on a him and Jimmy Butler, man, they both put on great performances. It was a crazy game. I think it came down to AD not playing well. I'm not even gonna blame Green, Capel, Danny Green. He
You
trash
can't blame
anyway.
him. I mean, he missed a shot, but I mean that's you can't blame him
Hey,
for missing. You know,
that was a terrible miss though. And then
yeah, it was.
I was hoping LeBron would have kicked it out to what's the name, which was on the weak side on the corner on Caldwell Pope,
Yeah.
because I felt better about that shot, but you know what I'm saying. He was like triple team.
Yeah, you know something funny. I mean, it's about this, but it's not about the game. There's a clip I saw yesterday by Dr. Umar. Y'all know that dude, right?
Yeah.
Dr. Umar Johnson. I shouldn't even put doctor in front of his name. Boy, fraud. Anyways, he
Wait,
said
wait,
he
is
made a
it?
video. He made a video saying that he believed that the NBA is rigged. He actually put he believed it's rigged. He put RIDGED, but that's another story. Anyways, he said he believed that the finals is rigged. He
He's a
said that he
doctor.
believed the NBA has rigged the finals for LeBron to remain the face of the league, so they can stop protesting. You know, just like because LeBron is like Obama. He hasn't done anything for black people, and he's not doing anything for black people. He said he believed that the Clippers lost the game on purpose, lost the series on purpose, and that Doc Rivers was a part of it. And like I'm listening to this dude, everything he's saying. He started off saying, "Now I don't know if this is true, but this is what I believe." And then he goes on to start saying everything as if it's fact. And he says that when Milwaukee Bucks walked out, LeBron was mad, and LeBron said that he called Barack Obama and he called Michael Jordan to get guidance, and he was like, "Why did he call them two men who've done nothing for black people?" I'm listening to this dude. It was one of the most ridiculous videos that I've ever watched of his, and I hadn't watched many, but most of his videos that I've watched, they're like something wrong with you. I don't trust you at all. I don't rock with you. But this one here was outrageous. It seemed like this dude is just saying stuff to stay relevant. No matter what it is, he's just saying stuff so he can stay in the news, stay on people's minds. You know, he still ain't built his school. He's still asking for money and stuff though. But I just kind of thought it was outrageous that this dude was willing to say something about LeBron like that when LeBron has clearly been a supporter of everything black in multiple ways. Somebody said he just mad because LeBron got his school up before he did.
Yeah, that's what I was about to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought that was funny. Not interesting, but funny.
Man, it's a bunch of these black cats or whatever that in the beginning they was sounding real. They was talking a good game, and then towards the end or middle of their plight, it seems like I don't know, maybe they have an agenda or something like that or whatever. So I I listen to everybody. I listen to all things, all the news sources and stuff like that or whatever, or all philosophy. And I take it with a grain of salt. I always do my own research. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of these cats that I be checking out just to see where they at. And they all falter somewhere down the line or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because they always say something that's just like outlandish. Like you can make a mistake, cool. But when you make a blatant mistake, like dude, either you didn't do your own research, you know what I'm saying, or you just blatantly lying. You know what I mean? And so I ain't gonna call none of these guys out because it is what it is. But yeah, Umar is definitely one of those cats that I don't know. It seems like he's just going off the rails and stuff like that or whatever. I don't know what's up with Umar.
I mean,
You
you made
know,
some comment about a month ago about the grits. The grits comment. Y'all heard about that? I can't remember
what?
what it was. It was
Oh yeah,
another outlandish
he
comment.
said yeah, he said something about black people are spending. Did he say we spending more money on grits than like I don't know, we spending like 20 million or some kind of number on grits and we could be using that money for something else, something to that effect
Whatever
or
it was
whatever.
ridiculous. But anyways,
I'm not canceling my grits. I just need to find some extra money, but I'm gonna eat me some grits.
Well, he's
So
always making these comparisons to how we spending our money and how we could
I
be. And
get it.
I'm not knocking him for that. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not. But find
I
something
am.
else because grits are
I'm
staying.
knocking him for that. Or somebody who took all this money supposedly to build a school and we ain't seen nothing. You know, like I mean, certain people you can't speak on certain things to me. Like your actions show me that you need to shut the hell up. At least I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm not gonna respect you. You know, so he's one of those people that I don't respect. Like if he just had a platform and he came out and he talked and expressed his opinions about things, some things I would disagree with, some things I may agree with, whatever. But you stole from people. As far as I can tell, as far as I can see, you are a thief. You're a manipulator. You're a con man. And because of that,
So
everything you do, I put you in that box. So
So it says Umar Johnson blessed social media with an appearance on Labor Day to offer an explanation of why the school for black boys that he raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for years ago has never been built. And so he went on this spiel, and then basically he was saying that he doesn't he was talking about how black people spend their money or whatever. He say, for example, he said during a rant on Instagram that black people spend 19 million annually on grits. So grits made and sold by the Quaker Oats Company. So again, he
Yeah.
went on this spiel saying, look, I don't want your Timberland, your Jordan money. I don't want your Mercedes Benz money and all of that. I want your just the money that y'all spending on grits. Just give me that, and we can have the school built or whatnot. So
Well, I feel like a lot of people already gave the grit money. I think we should support. You put your money where your heart is, so the things that you're
yeah,
interested in. So I'm fine with us gathering together and putting money together to do things. I do think we need to circulate our money within our communities and help each other succeed. I do believe that too. But I also, and this is not to straddle the fence, but Dr. Umar Johnson is in spaces that a lot of people and regular entrepreneurs are not. So he has places to tap into government assistance. He's probably rubbing elbows with some people that are able to authorize grants and those kinds of things. He's very educated, so he knows how to get a few more things done than the regular Joe that probably would need something. And I think, our community is a community of show, right? So if you took money, donations from 4 years ago, why not at least lease a building and start getting the school going? Like start, doing something with some children. And maybe he is, because maybe I'm speaking out the side of my neck. But for if money was donated 4 years ago and nothing has happened, then that's the problem. Because I feel like if he would have at least, leased something or partnered with a school or partnered with a daycare or whatever he needed to do, implemented his program, then he would have the money pouring in, or he'd have the grants or the banks, whatever the case may be. I understand it's difficult for Black people in business, but I think he's in a position to do a lot more. So I think he has to be held accountable for where that money went. So yeah, people already sacrificed some grits, and they're wanting
yeah.
to see the outcome.
And another thing is like the reason why I just can't rock with him is because you can't come out you can't come out and say stuff like you
Right.
trying to build a school and you want people to support you, and then you criticize people for why they not supporting you. Like you can't tell people what money they can give you. Like plus most people who have created
Yeah.
schools, they haven't spent their own money on it. There's a process. Like people don't realize this, but LeBron James, people
Yeah.
assume LeBron James school was built because he spent money on it. LeBron James didn't spend money on that school. He used the resources that he has. That school was built through government funds. government funds.
Exactly.
He used his power and his resources to make that happen. So somebody like Umar, you have a platform. Why instead of shitting on LeBron and lying to him, how about tap into the resources he tapped into, or personally try to reach out to him and say, we trying to do the same thing. Can you help support me? What can I do to get on your team? Like, that's what he should be doing. When you calling out other black men that actually have a place in our community that's doing well, and then you're trying to take money from people. You're saying, I need your money to do this, when they have government programs and assistance and funds to help you to start that. Most of these charter schools, they're not created because somebody had millions of dollars and they pay money. They go through the process of getting the school built and started. So the fact that he's asking people for money, he shouldn't even be doing that. If he truly wanted to start a school, there's ways to do that without taking a dime from the black community.
Well, you say that, but from his perspective,
no, that's the truth.
No. You say that, but from his, I'm not speaking from my perspective, bro. This is from his perspective. He's not trying to start a charter school. He's trying to start a private school for black boys. There's a difference, you know what I'm saying? So if you're using government money directly from the government or whatever, then you're still under government rule and legislation and stuff like that. When you start a private school, you can have like your own. I don't know how the charter school curriculum goes, but definitely with a private school, you could create your own curriculum and stuff like that or whatever. So I think that's how he's looking at it. And you're absolutely right. With certain people, you can't criticize and at the same time be asking, but for some people you can or whatever. It's to me, that's just a matter of how you look at it. If the dude any financial advisor would do that, but they would have better bedside manner. You know what I'm saying? So his bedside manner could possibly be better or whatever, but he's not. I can't knock what he's saying. I mean, if it's the truth, you know, I'm sure it's more than just black people eating grits, but you know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm sure he can partner. If he wants to start a private school, he can partner with some companies. He can partner with some people that have the money, and he can try. I mean, he has some people he can do that with if they want to do it, if they believe, because they're close to him, if they believe what he's doing. And so if it's a private school, he wants the students to pay for their education, right?
Facts.
So, I mean, if that's the route he wants to take, then he's going to have to do what he needs to do. If he wants to just at least start and get some people educated or implement his curriculum, maybe he should try the charter school route. But maybe that's not what he wants to do. So it is what it is.
What happened to the money he already raised, though? Like,
I don't think it's enough, Gina.
But so what
did he do with it? I mean, it's probably hopefully it's sitting somewhere. He's definitely not getting haircuts.
I know people with way less that have open schools.
Yeah, but not him though. I mean, we can't look at everybody else's situation.
We can.
We can.
No, we can't.
We can.
Yes, you can.
No, you cannot.
You can. Because the reason why you can is because actions speak louder than words. Like you just said, I can't knock him for the stuff he's saying. I can knock him for the stuff he's doing, and that's more important than anything that ever comes out of his mouth. Yeah. Okay, so the fact that he's actually not doing anything that he says he's going to do, that's the reason why he can be judged based off and public opinion and based off what other people are saying about him. What you said about private schools is correct, but there's also charter schools while it can be funded differently, there are things that they don't have to follow, like public schools. They don't have to follow a certain curriculum. They don't have to follow state testing. There's exemptions that charter schools have. So he could start a charter school and have the same freedoms that private schools have. One of the things that private schools have is a system to where they say you can and cannot come in based off of how much money you have to pay. So I could easily argue that the fact that he's trying so hard to have a private school is still something that he's conning people, because he's going to charge tuition to black boys that have to go to that school still has to work. If the school still has to function, how is he going to pay for utilities and stuff? How is he going to pay for resources? You know who pays for that? The students that come. The reason why private schools are so expensive is because of the expenses. So if he's trying to start a private school just for black boys and black people, the black community are suffering financially, that don't even make sense.
Hey, bro,
it doesn't make sense.
I'm gonna reach out to Umar. Like no BS, no bullshit. I'm gonna reach out to Umar. I'm serious.
Hey, bro, like reach out to somebody else that's worth your time, dude.
Nah, what you mean? I want to know, because I don't keep up with Umar or whatever. So I want to know his plight, and I want to know where where he's failing and where we're failing or whatever.
Stopped
You know what I'm
listening to
saying?
him a long time ago. He sounds kind of hotepy to me, and I don't fool with them people. So
So don't
he can
reach
take a
out. So
back
don't
seat.
reach out to Umar.
I mean,
And you
reach
do
out.
what you
I would
want.
rather
If he
we
responds
have
to
some
what he
local.
says, I'd rather reach out to somebody like, I don't know, Killer Mike or
We
something.
have some local people that run charter schools here. We have some.
Yeah.
I feel like we can. I mean, if we want to know the disparities and what could be holding them up, so
Nah,
we
I
can
don't
have
want
a
to
little
despair. I want to know what we need to do. That's what I don't like
for him.
problems. I want the
Well,
solution.
he's already said what he already says what we need to do. We need to get rid of our grant money and give it to him. You
That's his
said it
solution.
already.
His solution is give me more money. That's what he's telling
Yeah.
everybody. Give me more money. And I can't rock with that solution.
So then, do we continue? Like, do we make a monthly donation to him so he can keep the school running? Because teachers have to be paid. Folks got to clean the building. They need to keep the lights on.
There's
The internet,
so
the
many
technology,
aspects of running a school, and people think it's all about having
water,
kids
the
come and learn.
copiers, paper. I mean, like there's so much to that goes into
Public
running
schools
the school.
get millions of dollars. Districts get millions of dollars of funding from the state every year to be able to run programs and run schools. So if he's running a private school strictly with the money that he's putting up, he's going to be asking for money for the rest of his life to keep that school running. And that is not going to work. It's not going to work. So
Maybe he can solicit funds
So-
from the rest of the hoteps.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So I before we wind down on this episode, I wanted to see if we could shed a little light on the Jonathan Price situation that happened near Dallas. I don't know if we talked about it in one of our last one. Yeah, it was like Wolf. I don't know, Wolf City or something. I don't know. But Jonathan Price, I don't know how old he was, but a young black man that stopped.
29, I think.
Yeah, he looked like he was in his 20s, maybe early 30s, if that. Stopped some type of fight or argument or something that was going on at a gas station.
Yeah.
The police officer came. So this particular city is a very small town. They don't have a large police force, and I could be wrong, but I think I heard that they have 3 to 5 police officers. So pretty much everybody in that town knows everybody.
Yeah.
So when the cop came up, he
Sean Lucas.
shook hands with Jonathan Price. Somewhere there, the cop tased him. Of course, when you tase, you're kind of delirious, whatever. I don't know, tasing for no reason. While there was witnesses there saying that he wasn't a part of the problem, and then he ends up shooting him 4 times in the torso. Jonathan Price dies. But one thing that was interesting as well, because someone directed me to Jonathan Price's Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
He was a very upstanding individual. Everybody almost like a hometown hero in a way. I don't know if I'm stretching with that, but a lot of people
No, I think he
had
played
great
football
things.
or something.
Had great things to say about him, but he was a very big supporter of Blue Lives. So he had a Blue Lives Matter movement. So he did have a post this summer where he said he agreed with Lil Wayne. He said, I've never had any issues with white people. He actually named a family that has been very instrumental in his life. And he's like, they're like family to me, which is, I'm sure, his reality. So a lot of people are now, it is ugly saying, well, look, a blue life shot you, but you were for Blue Lives Matter. But Attorney Lee Merritt of Dallas is helping the family with this case. And I just find it very interesting on, the perspective of, at the end of the day, I have family. We all know people that are officers, that are, first responders, and their lives matter to me too. But until you put a uniform on, you don't have a blue life. You are Black, and that man was doing what we would tell our sons to do. If there was an issue, I really don't know if it was a issue with a woman. I really don't know what he was breaking up, but I do know that he was there as a citizen helping, and he ended up losing his life. And I think the officer, now I think he's in jail, but he initially got out on $1 million bond, which I'm like, where are these people getting these $1 million? Just like the officer that killed George Floyd is now out on the $1 million bond.
You know where they getting it from? The
They
police union
crowdfunding.
is raising this
They
money and
doing, yeah.
crowdfunding.
They're
Exactly.
doing the
Yeah.
GoFundMe, and people are supporting them and paying their money. So my opinion about that is, I hate that it happened to this young man. Of course, like I always say, I don't wish death on nobody. And
You wish death on you did.
no, I didn't. I didn't wish
You're like,
death on
I
him.
hope he died.
I said if he died, I would not care, and I would be like this.
That's what
But
you
I
said.
didn't
Secondly.
wish. I don't wish he dies.
That's what you said.
Okay?
Secondly,
You're like, I hope he died. I hope he died. That's my hope.
Who was it, Gina? Who y'all talking about?
Donald Trump.
45.
Agent
Oh,
Orange.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Oh,
Agent
from the
Orange.
COVID. Oh yeah. We just
I
need
said,
him to
I said I
stop.
don't wish
You
death.
do.
I said I don't wish death on people, but I said, but if he dies,
Hey, that's the second.
glad.
thing you said. That's their first comment.
well,
Hey, go ahead though.
then
Go
I
ahead.
cleaned it up. But anyways,
Okay. Okay.
like I'm glad. I hate that this happened to this young man. As far as people making comments about, you supported Blue Lives and this is what happened to you, I don't think it's fair to say that in a derogatory manner, but I do think it's fair to use it as a talking point to other black people.
Exactly. It's
It
a
is
cautionary
fair
tale.
because
Yeah.
the people need to wake up. They need to wake up. Like, just because you hadn't been through it, you cannot discount these things. You cannot use your platform to say these things are not true because you haven't experienced it.
Right.
You may be the next person that experiences and dies from it. I experienced it but didn't die from it. Damon experienced it but didn't die from it. Just because we don't all die from it don't mean it's not happening. And just because you didn't experience it don't mean it's not happening. So I think it's very fair to use this story to say, here you go, a black man upstanding in this community, supported the police, and still died at the hands of the police and didn't do anything. So, I mean, I don't feel like that's out of bounds to do that in this situation.
I think we need to. I don't like Blue Lives Matter or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody in the history of police and policing has ever said that we should just go around killing cops and we hate police and all of that type of stuff or whatever. Even when rappers was pissed off, it was them being reactive to situations that were happening. We've all been reactive. Nobody's going out just doing stuff to police and the legislators and politicians and stuff like that. We're all reacting to their bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think Blue Lives Matters is a terrible organization or whatever, or if it is an organization, if it's not just a thought. And I think it's stupid. Like, how you going to protest the protesters, the people that are saying, hey, we just want to be equal? You're going to protest that, but you also saying that you're an American and you uphold the Constitution and all that. You don't. It's impossible. You can't do two things at the same time that are polar opposite of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And people think that when you support Black Lives Matter, of course, they've made it their own agenda. And forget the organization. I'm saying my Black Lives Matters. And I had to tell someone, and I don't know if Damien has ever shared this, we actually have a step uncle, I don't know, but he was an officer in Atlanta, Georgia, and he was killed in the line of duty, I think a year or two ago. And it was national news. The funeral, everything was on the news and all that stuff. So when people think, because you don't know, because, you haven't dealt, officers put their lives on the line and this, that. Yeah, I respect. I think officers and teachers and first responders should get paid more than anybody on this planet. I also think it should be more difficult to hold these positions. But, well, Damon, you kind of side-eyeing, but I think if you're gonna because teachers teach. I'm an engineer. There's no reason a teacher that taught me how to be an engineer I should make more than them. I think police officers, I understand the defunding thing. I think the money should be reallocated in a different way, but I think it should be very difficult to be a police officer. And then, so therefore, you earn your money. But that's just my thoughts. But like I said before, at the end of the day, nobody says engineers' lives matter. No one is saying this podcaster lives matter, because you don't know what the hell I am. I'm Black and I'm a woman. I can't hide that.
We gotta kill this culture of, and it's not amongst us, it's amongst the other people, like the sub races or whatever, who believe that cops are heroes. Cops are not heroes. Police officers are not heroes. They have a job. They are civil servants. Some of them are heroes that do heroic things. You don't get to be a hero just because you put on a uniform. You know what I'm saying? If Superman is out here lasering people in half and killing people, you wouldn't call him a hero. You only call him a hero because if he's saving lives and saving people and stuff like that. Some of these cops are out, they're dangerous people. They are psychologically inept. They're not psychologically equipped to do the job. You don't call that person a hero. That's somebody who doesn't need to be in the uniform. That's somebody who's making the entire uniform look like, put a stain on it. Everything that you think about it, you know what I'm saying, is deleterious or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We cannot have these type of people and as legislators. We cannot have these people as judges. We know for a fact that there are Klan members that are in politics, from police officers all the way to the president of the United States. So that culture needs to change. This white is right culture has to change. We got to kill that culture.
Yeah.
But
what you say? Gina.
Y'all can't hear me?
Okay, now we can.
We're going to end it on you, Gina.
I said, I agree. I agree with everything you just said. We definitely need to change the culture. And I mean, I never saw Superman laser anybody. I've seen Homelander do that, but Superman he doesn't laser people. So, I mean, that part I don't think is right. But all these.
What you mean? Superman that's where they got the laser eyes from. It's from Superman.
He don't have laser eyes. I've never seen Superman laser anybody.
Compare.
Yeah, Superman has laser.
He be lasering people in half.
No, I said
not like Homeland.
No. I said if Superman was doing that, I said we would not deem him as a hero.
Superman can laser people with his eyes.
Yes,
I've never seen that.
Yes, he has that power. He can do that.
I thought he could just like see through stuff. Like
he can do that too.
All the Homelander's powers come from Superman. The only thing I haven't seen.
And reread my Superman comics.
Yeah, the only thing Homelander hasn't done that Superman does is I hasn't seen the freezing breath. The breath
and the seeing through stuff. He can't do that either, huh? Homelander.
Yeah, he can. See through. Yeah, he could do that. Yeah. Remember when they was in the van? And he.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Well, I guess I need to beef up on my Superman.
Yeah, you're gonna come for me, Gina, and we talking about this superhero stuff.
I ain't never seen Superman laser anybody though. I mean, damn.
So if each of you could have a superhero power, what would it be? One power.
I would laser people.
Capel, what would you would fly, Damien?
That's it.
Gina, what would you do?
I think I would actually just be like, I want to be able to be invisible so I can, hear things.
Well, you see Invisible Man and in the boys.
I mean, not like him, but I just want to be nosy and listen to stuff. That's it.
What would you be, Capel?
Travel back in time.
Oh, that's a good one.
Is that a superhero power?
Yes, it is.
You can do that. Which superhero?
So the Flash could do it because he can manipulate the multiverse. Yeah. He can run fast enough to go back in time, create his own multiverse or whatever.
Right. But that's kind of choose something else, bro. Because I know that it's a comic.
Something else.
I'm saying because there is no traveling back in time. There are such things as lasers. Can people shoot them out of their eyes? No. There is such thing as freezing, but can somebody actually do that? No. Something can actually fly or whatever. I mean, every superhero power, there's an animal or organism that can portray their power. There's nothing that can travel back in time.
I just gave you one. Like, okay, so if I say this one, you're also going to say choose another one because it doesn't fit your
okay, what's the other one?
So telekinesis.
See,
nobody can do that.
That's still like,
but that's a very popular superhero power. That's like one in every superhero movie. Somebody has telekinetic powers where they can move things.
See, Capel is like on this super ultra sci-fi fiction.
So
fantasy.
Check this out. Everybody asks the question: what superhero power you can have? How in the hell did we get to? Well, just choose these groups of powers. You can't choose certain powers
because you entered the store. You entered our show coming for Damien, so he has to end it coming for you. I think that's what it is.
I wish I could explode and bring my body back together.
That is actually a power. Like you said Regina can't come for you. You can't come for me with powers. Because with superhero stuff. You already know that.
I'm just saying it's crazy that you want the powers that there's no possible way, like there's nothing on the planet that can actually.
Dude, there's no person that can fly.
I know, but birds and insects can fly. So
But
at least
last time I checked, you are not close to that. A bird or insect. You do some insect like shit, but you're not an insect.
Wow. Okay. Well, we started with insects and let's end on
Insect
Anyway.
like shit.
yeah. So anyway, we appreciate y'all for checking us out or whatever.
Oh, well, just
Like
forget
that.
about my superpower.
Exactly.
Just forget about me. This is where I talk about the woman is not protected. We are not even valued.
Not at all.
None of this.
Go ahead, black woman.
Oh gosh.
What's your superpower? You can
Well, I want to be able to read minds and see the future. And
That don't
all
count.
kind of
That don't
stuff.
count.
And
can't
I'm
do that
trying
one.
to think of something different because he came for you. But I'm like, I
if
do
people-
want to be able to hear. I don't want to be a psychic, like come to my room and I'll tell you. But I want to be able to like, oh, Gina over there. I see what she's thinking right now. Like, you know.
I don't. You don't got to be.
And
a
then for
psychic to know
stocks,
the
I
future.
need to know what stocks are going to be great in next week. So I need to see the future.
Right.
That's what's up.
Nice. Well,
You could do all of those things.
Well,
You could do
folks.
your research and you can know the future about
No,
stocks.
I don't want to do no research. I just need to see
In the
where to put my
future.
money, how
we
much to
can't
put in.
we can't even have superpowers in this.
And you-
Right. Everybody doing research.
Regulate
They not rich the
superpowers.
way I need them
can-
to be. So I just want to know.
and
I
as
can't
far
even
as-
dream big enough for Damien.
As far as reading Gina, you could just look at Gina's facial expressions and know what she thinking. So
I'll just tell you. How about
Oh,
that?
but she's a good actress too, though.
True.
That part.
that's what's up.
On that note,
So we got Fly Guy, we got Telekinetic Betty, we got we got hold up, Gina. What you said you wanted to do?
invisibility.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what's up.
He liked that one. Be invisible.
All right. Man, y'all continue to like, share, and we appreciate y'all for listening. Keep rocking with us. This is Acoustic Chef. We out.
Peace.